Alright, it's been a minute or two, but like, you know, I guess we just gonna do it. What's good, friends? We're back here in the old we're in the same spot. I don't know. I've been here for a minute. I was gonna say like something about like YouTube or some shit, but you know. Anyway, SMITE Patch came out, and I've been able to like actually pay attention for once in my life. I'm doing a lot of things. Yeah, here's the update. We host PUBG, we host Rocket League, we host College Rocket League. We work with the esports awards folks. We stream. We get salty. But we're around. I want to try and do more YouTube, says he every year, but realistically, I think the YouTube thing will wind up working because of just how things have been going. So, yeah, let's let me know how you're feeling. What do you want? You want some Q&A shit? You want some I don't know, just holla. Anyway, SMITE Patch notes. Bam. That's what we're looking at right now. You know, new character. I'll have to do a separate video on Gilgamesh. I straight up haven't looked at Gilgamesh, so like, I don't know, sue me. You know, bug fixes here. I'm literally picking my nose on channel. Okay, so balance. Bang. Conquest update. The skybox and lighting of the Conquest map has changed to a dark and stormy style. So here's the thing. I actually effing love this, shouts to YouTube, because this type of living world is important, and I think, so when we talk about games as a service, that's the term that we talk about with games like League of Legends, SMITE, technically MMOs like World of Warcraft and such, but those are centrally put in a different category because time, I guess, because you pay monthly for them, I guess. Anyway, Fortnite is leading the charge in this. There's actually a video with like 200 views on the channel about how Fortnite is the next big step in the internet. And like, this is a big part of it. When you play, it's probably too small. When you play a game like this and the world is always moving, right? It doesn't feel like it. Apex actually did it really, really well, if you want my input. And World of Warcraft kind of started this in the sense that, like, the world is living. World of Warcraft had this giant map for years and years and years, and then released an expansion called the Cataclysm, where, you know, like Paul Bunyan style, somebody dragged a giant weapon through the earth and it created a scar, and it made, you know, deserts out of, or it made, like, lakes out of deserts and stuff like that, and it drastically changed the game. And that's not what this is, but it's a like taste of what it is. At the end of the day, the Conquest map is balanced and heavily looked after to make sure that, you know, good thing the cap is on, to make sure that like things are balanced correctly, and so you can't just like, you know, toss something in all willy-nilly. So changing the skybox is a way that Hi-Rez can like reflect. Titan Forge can reflect that the world is changing. I like that. And here's new gameplay mechanics. Vine walls spawn in specific symmetrical places around the jungle. They function like player-made walls. You can't walk through them. Can be destroyed by basic attacks only. Walls respawn when the adjacent jungle camp respawns. I'm very happy. I have been asking for dynamic maps for years. Both internally and externally. And we're getting them. This is a lot of what I've specifically asked for. I've specifically asked for buttons that can create different happenings on the map. I've specifically asked for mini bosses to be killed to give you a boost. I've specifically asked for the ability to kill a camp to buff your camps. I've specifically asked for walls that come up and down and can be taken down by players. And for years, people have told me I'm insane. Now they're just doing it. Thank you. We love to see it. Cool. In-game humans, don't care. Conquest balance, invisible. Foliage tech. When gods use an aerial ultimate, the leaves on trees within their ability range will become invisible temporarily. You, man, this is bad. The idea that I could run under a tree to hide from Apollo ult is good. This better work both ways, by the way. This better work both ways. Because right now, when Thanatos goes up, I can run to a certain part of the jungle and not completely hide, because a good player will be able to deduce where you are. It's not a giant area that's hidden. It's a small area, and like, it was really good. Is this a whining thing? I haven't been on Reddit. Is this a whining thing? Did people whine about this? Because this strikes me as a just bad decision. Like this strikes me as there was a fun gameplay element, and I definitely see why people would whine about it. It's not the way the character was designed. Like, I could see people complaining about it. And at the end of the day, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I hate this. Like I said, it better be both ways. If I can fly and have the leaves go away, that means when I look up, I better have the leaves go away. Because if I can't, Tier 2 towers, tankier, more damage. Cool. Greater Scorpion is easier to kill. Cool. Manticore, red buff holder, is less easy to die to. Cool. Base gate. So this is the door. Cool. Killing left Phoenix removes the debuff area on the left door. Killing the right. Ooh. Love this. Dynamic map. Again, I have not been louder for anything. Like I listen. This is what I've been like writing for years. Give Kuzenbo a gun. Honestly, whenever anybody asks me, like, what do I want to see in Smite? What do I want the change to be? I was always like, I don't know. What god do you want to see in Smite? I don't care. What mechanic do you want to see in Smite? Maybe like a teleportation thing where I can move like chaos magic, but I want Alterac Valley. I want dynamic maps. I want Hutball. I've been asking for it since 2005. Like, literally, since I played AV, since I played Hutball, and there was another game mode in SWTOR. The idea of being able to interact with the map is great. Sports are fun because it is not team versus team. It is team versus neutral. And the neutral in basketball and most sports is physics. In baseball, you have different size arenas, right? In sports, you have physics and dealing with like the hoops and shit, right? In Alterac Valley, it's players versus the map versus other players. In Hutball, it's players versus the map versus the environment. Player versus environment is fun. That brings it to the next level, because not only are you dealing with your direct opponent, but you also are having to have situational awareness even more so. This is why Heroes of the Storm was ever popular to begin with. Yes, it's dead now, but it's not because it didn't die because the maps were dynamic. That was a big part of why it was successful. Give me dynamic maps or give me death. Bumba's Hammer. Cool. Ornate Arrow. I play a lot of Ornate Arrow. I think playing with crit is fun. I like it. Sweet. It's going to give you some good stats. Lower stacks. Ooh, okay, sweet. So it just got a straight buff. We like that. Ornate Arrow was honestly not terrible. but this makes it, much better. Leader's Cowl was honestly not that good. Now everybody gets 5% increased power, including you. You get 5% power no matter what all the time. It's decent. The 15% attack speed is nice. I don't know if people are going to buy this. I would. Sentinel's Embrace is just the best item. They increase the range. They increase the solo prots, but they decrease the split prots. This is still a must-buy. Still a must-buy. This is a big deal. Decent deal. Really big deal. I still think the other one, I still think Sentinel's Embrace is going to be the go-to. Sundering Axe is pretty OP. It's getting upgraded. Oh, no, it isn't upgraded. So Sundering Axe is high impact. Opening fights with a strong amount of burst and restoring health quickly made this item not only attractive to warriors, but mages as well. We've seen that time and time again. Mages now starting tier 2 right up to Hootie and just all the way to Sundering Axe late game. Skipping the starter and going to Sundering Axe late game. That's what we've seen. We love the idea that gods can be flexible with starters, but mages were able to really benefit from the upfront burst and defensive stats. That was more frustrating than a warrior utilizing the benefits. We are shifting Sundering Axe to consider your own prots, making this just as strong for warriors who currently build this, but asking more for mages who want to benefit from this item strength. Decrease bonus damage from 10% of the enemy to 5% of the plus 2% of the. Nice. So again, instead of just 10% enemy current health, it's now only 5% of the enemy's current health, but 2% of your total prots from items. So, if you're building prots, nothing should change. It might even get stronger, doubtfully, but nothing should change. Maximum bonus is 14. So if you just have all the prots in the world, you can only do 14% of the enemy's current health. Like that. You need 400 protections to reach that cap, by the way. I like that they included this. This is really cool. This is good. This is good conveyance, right? Like, so yeah, I like this. This is a very good change. Bluestone Pendant, one of the most popular aggressive starters, isn't living up to its old hype. Surprise! Extra power, cool. Bluestone Brooch, cool. The alternate timeline. This item is scary. Scare the devs a bit more than the players, though. We launched it with an especially long cooldown to match the especially powerful effect, but it seems it tuned a bit too safe for balance. Sure, this happens from time to time. They do this from time to time where they'll be a little careful because, like, if there's a perfect example. If an item is released underpowered, you'll never hear about it. Whereas if an item is released overpowered, that's all you hear about. And yeah, cool. Achilles. All right, gods. Achilles. I mean, he's not doing so hot right now. I mean, Achilles is a character that, like, so player perception, he's not being played a lot. He's not winning a lot. Is Achilles an issue? Is there really a problem here? I don't really know. I don't really think so, but, what do I know? Decreasing the stun by 1 second. Is this what's going to change? This doesn't matter to me. Like, 1 second off of Shield of Achilles, cool. Like 5 seconds or 5% off of the decreased bonus damage taken is actually really, really big. And this is going to make him stronger. We're going to see more Achilles. But, like, I don't know. This is an odd This strikes me very much as, nobody's really playing Achilles. And when they do, he kind of sucks. How do we fix it? Take a second off a cooldown, I guess. Like this strikes me as like, I don't know what to do, so let's and see what happens. I'm not mad at it, I just don't care about it. Bacchus is getting changes to Chug, making it just easier to push the button. This used to be a decision, and now it's not. It used to be problematic to slam your one button, mine for its Q, but now it's not. It used to be an active element of gameplay to chug versus just like, now you hit it on cooldown and make sure you're always smashed. I'm a little perturbed at this slow degradation of strategy or mechanics, I should say. But I don't really care. It's like forced outrage, I think, if anybody were to be overly angry. I do acknowledge that this ability is watered down, easier to pull off, and just not a decision anymore. Maybe that's okay. Increase the base damage of Belch, good. Bacchus is weird, man. A belly flop intoxicate can run the game, and chug gives you free stats. And now since chug is not a question, you just hit the button. Like, cool. Why wouldn't I? But Belch kind of sucks. And so giving it some love, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You very rarely, if ever, get angry at Bacchus for belching. You slam your keyboard when you get boing, and you're like, I'm up, I'm down. And that's Bacchus, baby. I don't love this, but I'm not going to pick at anything, you know? Jormungandr, the World Serpent, a fantastically unique god in Smite. Increased duration of empowered attack speed buff from consuming bellow. Cool, nice. Submerge, reduced cooldown from 16 seconds to 16. Zip. Cool. Don't hate, don't love. This is huge impact, actually. Giving him invisibility on a 12-second cooldown is really, really large. Don't forget, he can see other invisible units. Merlin. The time has come for Merlin buffs. The god dropped heavily over the years. It's so weird to say years with respects to Merlin. Here we are. Okay, Dragonfire increased prot shred per stack from point. Are you serious? So this isn't as insane as I might have dramatized it to be, but it's still insane. So realistically, 0.5 scaling up to 2.5 per tick to 4% at all ranks seems gigantic. And it is. But maximum stacks, the difference is 16% to 15%, so who cares? The max stacks doesn't change much. 1% matters in the global inequality of wealth, but not necessarily when it comes down to prot shred with respect to Merlin abilities. That said, if you walk into the fire and walk out of the fire right now, sure, you're going to lose 1% of your protections. Post-patch, you walk into the fire, you walk out of the fire, you're losing 8% of your prots, bro. Rare is it that you swim in the fire, unless you're in my World of Warcraft raid. Then everybody's an Olympic fire swimmer. But normally, you go, oh shit, and then walk out. This is a big change. This is a big change, especially in the world of Sentinel's Embrace and all this stuff where everybody has all these prots. I'm looking at you, Anshile and Shifter's Shield. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Neath. This is a good change. Decreased cooldown of Spirit Arrow from 15 to 15, downscaling of 13. Cool. It's not an overwhelming change, and that's a good thing. Neath is strong. She's fine is probably the better word. You know, the attack speed steal on her 2 is a big deal. Still is a global ult. Good. Ability-based character gets to use her abilities more often. We love it. New season, new map, new Olympus, same Oleron. Increased base power from 38 to 40. Increased crit damage from 50 to 55%. Cool. Realistically, other hunter items were really, really strong. So hunters are really, really attractive. Oleron's second ability is still one of the most bloated in the game. Serket. Stacks will only be consumed and extra damage dealt if Serket actually damages the god, as opposed to just hit. I assume this matters with respect to Athena block stacks and, oh, yeah, Aegis or block stacks. Yeah, bang. Okay, cool. Last Breath, increased power scaling from 55 to 70. Love it. Last Breath has been really tough to deal with. Once upon a time, Last Breath only dealt true damage, which meant, and that was part of the design. The design was, you know, to get past prots. She's doing poison, right? The problem was, when playing Serket as a tank, which you can and should, she's got a grab and a push. She's got a literal taunt from a distance. I guess it's the same range as Athena. She's got a literal taunt. In fact, it's a mesmerize if you like hit 2 people. Prot shred on the 1, right? Invisibility to like wait. She's a good tank. But she was doing full damage with the ultimate. And that kind of sucked when you build full tank and she still did damage. So they changed it to scale. Now it's scaling more. Getting closer and closer back to that assassin. Haha. Look, let's read the dev notes. Struggling to get kills. Serket was seeing more players support. Addressed through previous changes. Final result, she's being played less in position. Yeah. Man, look at that. Sylvanas. So lately, I've been destroying my solo lane games by playing Sylvanas, Mannequin Septa, Warlock Staff, and just everybody. You are going to increase my basic attack damage and increase my scaling. I already tagged Ataraxia on Twitter. He came out of being away from social media to say, look at that scaling. Ain't that crazy? Let's go Sylvanas. I like Sylvanas. I think he's a fun balance of a grab is super hype in competitive games. He's got some strong healing. The ultimate's nuts, but at the end of the day, just kill him. I think he's a nicely balanced support character. I haven't really paid too much of attention to Tiamat, to be honest with you. She's just now getting into my ranked games. I never play casual, so, you know, I'm a terrible person. Let's read what they have to say. The Mother of Monsters has created quite an interesting start to the season. This goddess clearly has a learning curve, as we have seen with her win percentage steadily growing since launch day. The kit is complex and provides many decisions to the player, a few of which are now showing themselves to clearly be the strongest option. This was largely the issue, my opinion, with Old Rat. There were many options, but it was the illusion of choice, because at the end of the day, there was just a correct option, right? If you weren't doing that, you were doing the wrong thing. So here we see the same sort of idea. New Rat, by the way, gives you real choice, where they don't necessarily do different things that will strictly be better. They just do different things completely. Tiamat kind of has an issue there, so. Building Tiamat as a tank has created some frustrating interaction with passive mitigation, so those will now require magical power to scale. Also, her serpents are showing themselves to be the best choice for early ultimate, so they're going to nerf the split push potential in both damage and health, while also buffing the storm to make this a more meaningful decision. So yeah, you got a choice in the ultimate. Serpents or storm. Serpents are better. So they nerf serpents and buff storm. Duh. Sweet. Death begets life. Decreased damage mitigation. Right, here's the magical power scaling. Cool. We'll see how it all works out. You know, we'll just see how it all works out. Tiamat is, I think, the most frustrating thing for me as a player on the outside of the development circle is the mindset that Loki was largely changed to prevent split push strategies, and then right after they introduce a character that literally spawns minions, allowing you to execute split push strategies. It just seems like an inconsistent philosophy, and that sort of thing bothers me. Perhaps it shouldn't, but the inconsistency in the philosophy is not my favorite thing. And then we have Jean-Qui. Officer Jean-Qui reporting for duty. Season 8, dev testing made it feel like Jean-Qui was back. His old favorite item, Vamp Shroud, and other meta changes looked like he would be a major factor, but it's not. Expose Evil, that's the one. The card. Scaling goes way up. Sweet. It's going to be OPP. Yeah, you know me. Well, I think it's going to be a fine patch. I'm not overly excited about anything. I think this Merlin change is going to be very impactful. I think that the map is a huge deal. I like a buff to Ornate Arrow. And I actually really like this tier 2 tower buff. I didn't really talk much about it, but there are a lot of people that feel like towers in Smite are too easy to kill or don't do enough damage. Now, I do think that Smite towers structures in general should be different than what we see with League of Legends, etc. But because it's an action game. But I do think that tier 2 should be perhaps a little bit stronger. All of this stuff, love this. Love this. Love the dynamic map. Cool. I think we got something. We'll see how it goes. Comments, leave them. Let me know what you want to see. I want to do more stuff, so please do so. Doesn't have to be Smite. Let me know. Like and subscribe and stuff. Thanks. I'll be back.